Most people think the Hulk was created by gamma radiation, a scientific accident, a monster born in a lab. But that version of the story is incomplete. The radiation didn't create the rage. It only gave it a body. Long before the experiment, long before the green skin and the destruction, Bruce Banner was already carrying something far more dangerous than any gamma exposure. He was carrying unresolved trauma. And the human mind, when pushed far enough, doesn't just break, it adapts. Sometimes in the most terrifying ways possible. This is not simply the story of a man who turns into a monster. This is the story of how trauma can become a weapon. To understand the Hulk, you have to go further back than the laboratory. Bruce Banner grew up in an environment of fear and emotional violence. His father was abusive, unpredictable, and cruel. As a child, Banner learned early that showing emotion was dangerous, anger was punished, vulnerability was weakness. So he did what many traumatized children do. He shut everything down. He became quiet, controlled, extremely intelligent, the perfect opposite of the chaos he experienced at home. But the mind does not delete pain, it stores it. And the more Banner tried to bury his anger, the more pressure built underneath. Carl Jung once wrote that what we refuse to face in ourselves eventually controls us. Banner spent his entire adult life trying to be the calm, rational scientist the world expected. But under that carefully built identity, the rage never left. It was simply waiting. When the gamma accident happened, it didn't invent a new personality. It removed the last barrier that was holding the old one back. The Hulk is not an invader. He is the part of Banner that was never allowed to exist. Every time Banner faces extreme threat, his nervous system makes a brutal calculation. The intelligent, restrained version of himself is not enough to survive. So the mind switches. It hands control to the only version of him that feels powerful enough to protect what remains. This is why the Hulk is so difficult to control. He is not pure chaos. He is pure survival. And survival doesn't care about consequences. Here's the most unsettling part of Banner's condition. Most people look at the Hulk and see destruction, but from the inside, the transformation is a defense. The bigger the threat, the stronger the Hulk becomes. The more Banner is hunted, the more powerful the response. Trauma doesn't just create pain in this story, it creates armor. The same emotional wounds that once made him helpless as a child now fuel a creature that can tear through tanks and walk away from explosions. Pain stops being something that destroys him. It becomes the source of his strength. That's a dangerous psychological loop, because once the mind learns that rage equals safety, it becomes very difficult to go back to vulnerability. This difference becomes clear when we compare Banner to Emil Blonsky. Blonsky wants power. He chooses it. He injects himself with the same technology because he craves dominance, relevance, and control. His transformation is driven by ego. Banner never wanted this. His transformation is driven by fear. One becomes a monster by ambition, the other becomes a monster by necessity. That's why the Hulk feels tragic while the abomination feels repulsive. One is a wound that learned how to fight back. The other is a man who willingly abandoned his humanity for strength. The true cruelty of Banner's story is how the world responds to him. General Ross and the military don't see a traumatized man. They see a weapon, an asset, a problem to be contained or controlled. They chase him, threaten him, and experiment on him, repeating the same cycle of fear and force that shaped him in the first place. And in doing so, they guarantee the very transformation they claim to fear. Society often ignores quiet suffering, but it cannot ignore suffering when it becomes loud enough to destroy buildings. Banner's pain was invisible for years. The Hulk made it impossible to look away. In the end, The Hulk is not just a comic book monster, he is a mirror. He represents what happens when human beings are forced to carry more pain than they can process, when the only way left to survive is to become something terrifying. The real horror of Bruce Banner's story isn't the green skin or the violence. It's the idea that the most dangerous version of ourselves is often the one we create to protect the most fragile part of who we are. The Hulk was never just a creature of radiation. He was trauma given form, and once trauma learns how to fight back, it rarely goes quietly.